What is up, YouTube? Today I have another strat for you guys that I think is going to be worth doing, and that is going to be farming ritual for omens. Omens are like kind of stupidly expensive right now, right? Chaotic monsters are worth quite a bit. The giga omens are worth a lot, but also like a lot of the shitter omens are worth a ton. Dextral crystallizations are still over a div each. Sinistral crystallizations are more than half a div each, I think. Yeah, they're like 3/4 of a div each. Even something like an Omen of Corruption. These are like 6-to-1 divine. But on top of that, the expensive stuff, like Whittles are 2 divines roughly. Dextral annulments are like 3.5. Sinistral erasures are almost 4.5. The Omen prices right now are just crazy expensive. So to capitalize on that, farming ritual obviously just makes sense, right? And on top of that, farming ritual last league was one of the top meta strats. So with this league, there are some slight changes to it, but it's pretty much still going to be an incredibly meta and strong strat. So really quickly, how this works is you're going to have 2 ritual tablet setups, okay? So this first tablet setup here is our reroll setup. The prefixes for both of these tablets are pretty much just increased magic monsters or increased pack size because we want to have more tribute. And the more monsters we kill in the ritual, the more tribute we get. Unfortunately, like getting rare monsters doesn't actually give you like as much tribute as getting more magic monsters or even getting more white monsters on average, which is why pack size and magic monsters are so important for the prefix. For the suffix here, we care about decreased tribute, so reduced tribute for re-rolling favors at the ritual. So that's seeing additional windows. This on top of our Atlas nodes, making so that we have like roughly 50% reduced tribute on every single reroll that we take. So it goes from costing like 750, I think it is, to costing like 280 or 300. This is just ritual favors have increased chance with omens. This is just a really, really nice stat. Although if the tablets get too expensive with this stat, you can just remove it as well. But this is just going to make our profit per ritual become a lot higher. Next, and most importantly, is just going to be having 1 tablet that has 3 additional rerolls. That's all you need on this. If you can get a prefix with like pack size or whatever, awesome. If not, no big deal. All you need here is 3 additional rerolls, and those are quite expensive. Now, the first tablet I just showed you, these cost around half a div to a div. If you set up an active filter, half a div to a div, easy. And then this +3 reroll is going to cost you around 2 or 3 div. Now, I set this to 8 minimum uses, and we found one for 2 div. So this is like 10 uses would be like 2.5 div. But set up an active filter, you'll be able to find them for around 3 div at most. Just requires a little bit of patience. I will link these trade filters in the description below if you want to see how I go about searching for them. But this is really important too. You need to make sure it's 10% increased tribute. The lower the number here, the better, because it's like, this is just a bad thing, right? This is like 10% is bad versus being 15% is bad. And then the most important part of this line is that it doubles the number of rerolls that we get. So we start off with 1 reroll, we can add 3 more with this tablet, and then we can add 1 more with our Atlas, which makes it so we have 5 rerolls, and then this doubles that 5 into 10. The only thing we care really for on our Atlas, at least for the general Atlas nodes, are making sure that we have increased modifiers on our waste zone, this kind of stuff, and then also increased monsters, magic monsters, pack size, that kind of stuff. We don't care about rarity, quantity, like none of that really matters to us, just because we're not getting loot from the ground, we're getting most of our loot from ritual windows. Now, ritual Atlas is going to look like this because we want to have better omens, so 100% increased chance to be omens, reduced ritual cost to reroll, and then also additional reroll. Always having 4 altars, this is just really consistent, helps us get to the amount of tribute we need. And then this is just deferring rituals costs 50% less tribute. So this is the same thing as just having more tribute, because when you get a Dextral annulment, for example, it's going to cost like 5k tribute to defer. So having this Promise Devotion makes it so that 5k tribute is now only 2,500 tribute, which means we need less tribute in order to defer it. And then very importantly here, we are going to want to go this with our tree. The only thing that matters is organized forces. This is how we're going to get our area level to level 80 without using tier 16 maps or using irradiation tablets. You need to be level 80 in order to actually reach the breakpoint to roll those high tier omens. By high tier omens, I mean the Sinistral annulment, Dextral annulment, Dextral erasure, Sinistral erasure. These 4 require eye level 80 rituals. Omen of Whittling does not, but these 4 do, and these are the big money makers. So we definitely want to get to eye level 80. One other thing I want to point out is this is our general setup, but more importantly, we have this Remnants of Power, which essentially is a 1 in 5 chance of making it so the effect of our precursor tablets are doubled on the map. which means that we have so much reduced cost of deferral and so many additional deferrals that if this hits the 1 in 5 in procs, we will end up getting 18 rerolls on our map and they will cost 0 tribute each. So this is insano. So next, moving on to our second setup, this is really straightforward. Here, we just care about 2 things. We want pack size magic monsters on the prefix, and then we want monsters sacrificed grant increased tribute. Alternatively, for the suffix, you can also have something like revived monsters from rituals in the map have 52% chance to be magic. The idea here is we just want to get as much tribute as possible. After we use this setup to re-roll and find a bunch of good omens, we'll use this setup to just go in and buy them all up, okay? I'm going to show you guys how this works, so if it looks a little bit confusing, don't worry. So for your maps, what you actually want are 2 things, okay? You want either high magic monsters or you want high pack size. And the way you can get that is by doing chaotic quantity or by doing chaotic monsters. I'm not actually sure which is better in which situation, but because we are running so much more magic monsters here on the buy side, I was just going for high magic monsters when I was running the buy maps, and then I was running just normal pack size for the reroll maps. So what that looks like is just chaotic quantity for the reroll maps. You see here it's 99 rare monsters. We do this once and we're at 55% pack size. Now in general, I like to go like 60 plus. So it's going to cost a couple rerolls to get there. And then for the bottom side, all we need to do is get high magic monsters. This is going to cost quite a few because you have a chance between rolling between magic monsters and rare monsters. So 85% rare magic monsters, not really enough. We want something like at least 100%. But these are going to be the 2 maps that I'm going to showcase with you. But I just want to go over how you actually get to this point. It's pretty deterministic. I would say it costs around like 2 or 3 rerolls or attempts in order to get a map like this. So it only costs you like 15x in order to get here. When you're rolling the maps for the magic monsters, if you hit high rare monsters with rares have an additional mod, you can just sell those maps for like 50 or 80x. They're really expensive. So that's one thing to consider. So let's get into a map right now and let me show you guys what to do. If we put in our pack size map, you will notice that the monster level of the zone is only 79. That is a huge problem because we will not be able to get to the eye level 80 breakpoint in order to get the really good omens. There's actually a few ways you can solve this. Number 1 is you can just run tier 16 maps. Those are incredibly expensive. Number 2, you can run an irradiation tablet. That would remove 1 out of our 3 tablets and we need all 3 of our tablets. The third thing you can do is you can find a cleansed or corrupted zone, get +1 monster level here. That would bring us to eye level 80 as well. However, these are really rare. Instead, what you can do is with our Atlas setup, we get +1 level zone with powerful map bosses. So what that looks like then is now we're just hunting for zones that have this little powerful map boss icon on it. And as you can see, we're now monster level 80. Now you only need to do this on the reroll side. You don't need to do this on the buy side because the buy side, we're not looking for omens. We're just buying them all out. On top of that, I have a spreadsheet here that I'll also link in the description. And it goes over, there are certain maps that just provide more monsters. And I was kind of trying to keep note of which ones these are. I'll try and update this further as the league progresses. But I noticed that a lot of the like grass and forest open layouts like Confluence, Steppe, Savannah have insane amounts of tribute. Like I'm talking like 50 to 100% more tribute on the map just finding these maps. So that's something for you to consider as well, or to take note of. I would avoid a lot of the swamp maps because those aren't as open areaed. But let me show you what this looks like. This is our reroll setup here with high pack size. Okay, cool. Again, all we're doing is we're just running through the map. You don't even need to clear the rares really. Like you don't care about anything. The only loot that you care about is the ritual windows. So you just want a character that can just run around and then come in here and find the rituals. One other thing to consider is that the more ritual monsters on top of the ritual, the more rituals monsters will spawn inside the ritual. So if you really want to min-max it, what you can do is you can clear all 4 of your rituals and then remember which one had the most amount of monsters inside of it or on top of it, and then run that one first, because all the monsters that you spawn in your first ritual will then be spawned in subsequent rituals. So if you do the rituals with the most monsters first, they will then continue to go into each subsequent ritual and you will get the most juice out of it. So this one actually felt like it had a good amount, so I'm just gonna go for this one. Then I'll just double back for the other one. I don't wanna be too sweaty about it, and I wanna keep the amount of time that we're inside of this map quite low, because this is definitely a maps per hour strategy, right? The more maps per hour you do, the more ritual windows you'll see, and the more money you're gonna be making.
So only 671 ritual for that first one, or 671 tribute for that first one, which is really low. We hopefully will get better rituals in these subsequent ones, but we want to have around like 5K. That is where the sweet spot is for the amount of rerolls we're going to have, plus the cost it is going to take to reroll, plus having some tribute left over in order to buy up all of the good omens. Now, this is actually like not a great map for this, as you can see. It's kind of like not spread out a lot. There's not like a lot of density here. So we are actually going to be eating an unideal situation here. But again, put that down in the comments below. I'd love to hear about which maps you guys are having success in. Ziri, Voltevel, skip that shit, man. And we keep chugging along here, just looking for the ritual. I wish I could have gotten the ritual earlier, because what I want to showcase for you guys was once you finish the rituals, you actually just don't need to do the rest of the map. Like, you don't need to finish the map boss. You don't need to clear the rest of the rares or anything like that. We are literally just here for the rituals. But we kind of do need to full clear the map just because we got a little bit unlucky with our ritual spawns. Ooh, this is actually a lot of ritual mobs. So this one should actually give us quite a bit of tribute. But yeah, this whole like min-max of like finding like the best rituals and then starting those first is very, very valuable to do on maps like these, where you actually don't have the best amount of native mob pack size in the map. And when you really want to squeeze out and min-max like every single point of tribute that you can get, like if I had started with that one first, I probably would have like maybe 200 or 300 more tribute at the end of this map. But it's all good. And there's no way you can like actually drag monsters in. It has to spawn on top of the ritual. So by the time you actually can open the ritual, that means all of the monsters that you can pull in from on top of it have already been killed. So you don't need to worry about clearing the whole ritual thing first before you... Oh yeah, this is really low. So we only got 4K juice here. That's a little bit unfortunate. But as you can see, we actually hit a proc here. So you ideally want to have like 5K. So we're actually a little bit on the lower side. But look, we have 18 rerolls. We normally should get 10. And they cost 0 tribute. And that's exactly because we hit the remnants of power. We have 18 rerolls and they cost 0. So what we're going to do now is reroll for good omens. So this is cool. I'm glad this happened. When the item in the windows are yellow, this means that they're good. Like they have no chance of disappearing. When they're red, it means that they're not going to disappear if you reroll them once. But it means that I think after like 2 or 3 times of rerolling them when they're red, they will drop out from the reroll option. Ooh. We even got a level 20 spirit gem. That's very, very nice. But yeah, you can get anything from this. And we also got Omen of Chaotic Rarity. Again, these are like a third, half a div. These are very expensive. So this, how much are uncut spirit gems? These are 2 div. So that's already 2.5 div. And then also I like to just, I like to pick up these little splinters here because they're so cheap to defer, and they cost so little, and they're actually worth like a few exalts. These ones maybe aren't as worth it to get. The deferral cost is kind of high. We'll maybe pick up 1, but yeah, these ones aren't as worth. Maybe towards the end of the window. Ooh, another chaotic rarity, another half div. Half div, third of a div. Omen of Corruption, very, very nice. Little shitter splinters, very, very nice as well. Like you see here, this Chaos Orb is 2K. This Gem Cutter is 3K. That is for sure not worth it. Yeah, we just keep going. Here, I would say keep on picking up these splitters, pick up these barters. These barters are worth a couple X, and they cost like almost no tribute. Exaltation, these are like 5X. They cost like almost no tribute. Little shitter splinters, again, no tribute. We just keep going like this. Pick up the little bubblegum stuff for sure, for free here. Ooh, Omen of Sanctification. These are actually worth a div. However, the discount is so high that I would not consider picking this unless it was like in the last window. So we're going to skip that now, because if we were to grab it, we wouldn't be able to grab any of the really good omens anymore. So now we're reaching the point where we're at like 2.7K tribute. We want to stop picking up like little shitter ones, because we want to save our tribute for if we get like a Dextral Annulment or something. And those are usually quite expensive. So we just keep going. We'll still pick up things that are worth like 10, 15X, like Omen of Corruptions, ameliorations, that kind of thing.
but we're not going to pick up the small bubblegum stuff anymore. Oh, we missed 2 ameliorations. That's my bad. Omen of Recombination. These are actually like half a div. We would strongly consider picking these up. I think it's worth it. We're going to grab it. Ooh, what is this? Snake Pit. 9 exalts. 9 exalts for 118 tribute deferral. That's totally acceptable. And then yes, so this is our last window. We have no more rerolls, so we're just gonna grab everything that has any sort of value here. We'll grab this, and then we'll just defer everything we have here, because every time you defer, it actually lowers the cost to buy. So use up all of our tribute, and that's pretty much it. I mean, just off of this one map, we just made pretty much 3 div there. And I would say that's not the average by any means, because we got 18 rerolls and we didn't have any tribute issues. On average, we won't be getting that much. This is very much a feast or famine kind of strategy, where like you're gonna go a few maps dry, and then in a few maps you're gonna hit like 7, 8 div. Cool. So we set up our ritual windows in such a way where we re-rolled a fuck ton and we saved a bunch of omens. Now what we need to do is we need to go and buy them. So we're gonna swap our tablets from our reroll tablets to our buy tablets, okay? And then we're gonna use our high magic monster map base for this. Now, we don't care about the map being irradiated, but what we do care about is it being a good base map. Like we want to find Confluence, we want to find Step here. We want to find a map that has a good amount of natural monsters in it, like Step here. So we don't care it's eye level 79, that does not matter, okay? And then we need to change our Atlas one more time. And we just need to change it from Ominous Portents, Tempting Offers, we don't care about that. Instead, we want From the Mist, which gives 2 additional Wildwood packs, which is really, really good for getting more tribute. And then up here to Reinvigorated Sacrifices, monsters are tougher, they deal more damage, but they have no more penalty to tribute, which is again, just more tribute for us. And then we just send our map here. I'm just gonna move my webcam a little bit here so that you guys can see the tribute increase, tribute going up. But again, it's the same shit. We don't care about killing the map boss. All we care about is coming here, clearing the tributes, clearing the altars. And again, I'm gonna showcase this to you. Like that one didn't have that many monsters on top of it. Oops. If you get knocked down during your sprint, you can just relog and you don't die and you don't get stunned anymore. Very, very nice little tech there. I use it a lot because I am full on Unga Bunga a lot. So this one didn't have that many either. It was a good amount, but let's see if we can do better. I mean, the good news is the ritual altars are quite big, so it's very easy to see them on your map. Ooh, this one has a lot of good monsters. It had a magic pack and a rare pack on top of it. So, oh, the rare pack is not inside of it though, unfortunately. But I think this is probably the best one, so let's just start with this. Again, if you just see one that has like a lot of packs on it, just feel free to go with that first. You don't have to check all 4, but I just noticed that the first two rituals didn't have that many monster packs in them, so I did not want to go for them. So if you remember on the last map, the first altar only gave us 600 tribute. This one, the first altar gives us 1700, and this grows exponentially because each subsequent altar gives you more tribute because the previous mobs are still on it. Ooh, we dropped the divine. And that is rare though. I'm gonna be honest with you, you're not seeing a lot of divines. You are not juicing your map with rarity, effectiveness, any of that shit. So getting divines is kind of rare. I think I only saw 1 in like 20 maps, so a little lucky, but the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. Okay, this one is not that good. I think this one's better. And then these two are both the same. So we're just gonna go back down to this one really quickly. And we're just going to start it up. Ruby Ring. As you can see, we're at 5k tribute yet, and we're not even on the 3rd ritual. So 5k tribute, this is actually kind of low. I've had maps where I've gotten up to like 20k, but again, that probably requires a proc because you get way more giga juice on your map. Oopsies. The one thing though is don't fall once you start the ritual, because if you relog, you lose the entire ritual. Like the entire ritual worth of tribute. So just be careful of that. Make sure there's no relog shenanigans for when you're actually inside the rituals. But yeah, look at how much tribute we have. We have 9k almost. Like I said, I think the best I've had on a map was like 27k, but that's off of a proc. That is not going to happen every time, but you should expect 15 to 20k per map when you're trying to buy them out, which is, I think, very, very solid. It's enough to buy out almost everything besides like big ticket items, which you're going to need to defer a couple times. Here we go, 12k tribute already.
And as you can see, like these magic monsters, these white monsters, they just give so much tribute compared to rares. Like rares don't actually give that much tribute. It's kind of sad to see, but it just happens that is the case. One other thing to consider is that if you get a deli, you will get way more tribute as well. Deli uniques can spawn in here, but that's pretty much all there is to it. Now, like, look, we have all the shit that we want to buy. What do? We just buy it all. It's very, very nice. Okay, we'll buy the Splinter. We'll buy this Chaotic Monster as well. Who cares? And then, Sinistral Crystallization. We got a little lucky there. Addition Splinters. This we're going to have to defer. Unfortunately, we were just under the amount that we needed in order to buy it. But that's how you do it. You go in, you re-roll the ritual windows in order to get all of the really good omens, and then you set up a second map to go in and buy them all. Now, if you look here, we bought like 2 chaotic rarities. These actually dropped in price, but that's still half a div. Sinistral Exaltation, that's like half a div as well. Level 20 Spirit Gem that we got previous round, that's like 2 div. So it's like 3, maybe 3.5 div just off of 2 runs. Again, that's a little bit lucky, I would say, but at the same time, it's not crazy lucky. Oh, also, we also dropped 149 Addition Splinters. These are close to half a div as well. Like the Splinters really do add up, the little ones, because these are like pretty much 2 for 1 Exalt. If you have 7 in the map and they cost like 50 tribute, that's literally just like, 3 Exalts for free. That is what it looks like. Now, in terms of the actual profit and losses, let me go over that with you guys really quickly too. So this is what we did over the course of, I think, like 20 maps. I think we spent an hour and 40 minutes. So we died a couple times just to random shenanigans because we were on stream, we were reading chat, that kind of stuff. But this is like really easy to run. Like we're not juicing the map at all. It's just magic and normal monsters. This is super, super easy to run. Like almost any build can do it. It's just about doing it fast, right? So the total cost at the time was around like 3.5 div for the reroll setup, and then another 1.5 div for the buy side tablets. We dropped 2 Whittles, 1 Dextral Eraser, which was 5 div at the time, 1 Dextral Null, which was 3 div at the time, 1 Sinistral Crystallization, which was 100x, 1 Dextral Crystallization, which was 1.5 div, 11 Ameliorations, which sold for around 2 div, 9 Corruptions, sold for 2 div, 10 Chaotic Rarities, sold for around 4 div, and then we had a bunch of other stuff that was worth like 2 div that we just like brought down to 1 div just to be conservative and just to save time. Our total revenue was 24 div. This is also not including the raw currency drops that we had. I think we had 2 div raw currency drop, 1 from the window, 1 from the ground. We did not include that. Again, we try and be conservative in all my calculations on all these kind of videos. I always try and give you like the most conservative possible outcome to factor in luck, factor in the fact that maybe I mispriced things or maybe the prices go down slightly. But I always try and give you guys like the most conservative estimates that I can possibly give you. So that way I won't set you up with a situation where you think the strategy is going to be a banger and it absolutely sucks. So 24 div revenue, the cost was 6.5 div, pretty much just the tablets and the maps were very, very cheap to run. Our profit total was 17.5 div. It was around 5 minutes per map, so they do take quite a bit of time. And over the course of 100 minutes, that is 60 divided by 100, 0.6 times 17.5. We were getting around 10 to 11 div per hour doing this strategy. I actually personally do like rolling the ritual windows because it's like every time you see an omen that's nice, it just like, I don't know, I get dopamine from that. But I know some people find the strategy boring, some people find the strategy amazing. It's up to you to determine whether or not you like the strategy. But it is definitely one of the most profitable mapping strategies in the game. I mean, I was not making 11 div per hour profit doing abysses, and I was trying to do that every which way. But I figured I would just share this with you guys. There's 2 downsides. Number 1 is if you want to get the tablets at an appropriate price, like 3 div for the 3 reroll tablets, half a div to a div for the deferral tablets, then you need to set up an active filter, and it'll take you probably like 30 minutes to find the tablets at appropriate prices. So that just looks like, doing other stuff, having an active filter on the side. And then once you buy up the tablets, then you can switch strategies to this. And the second thing is that there's high variance to the strategy. All of your money is going to be made on the omens. So if you're rerolling your ritual windows and you're not seeing good omens, good currencies, level 20 spirit gems, that kind of stuff, then you're not going to be making any money. You're pretty much going to be breaking even. The good news is that like you'll always break even. These shitter omens are going to pay for the maps. But in order to make like good profit, there is a good amount of variance. Like you need to be hitting Whittles, you need to be hitting Dextral, Sinistral, Omens, that kind of stuff. And you can definitely go dry. I remember I did this last league as well, and I went like 30 maps dry, didn't find a single good Omen. And then the next 10 maps, I found 4. You know what I mean? Like there is a degree of variance to the strategy.
But that's pretty much all there really is to it. I definitely recommend that if you're looking to get an upgrade and you want to get it within like a day, like you need to make 30 div in order to get your Headhunter, this is definitely a strategy that you can try out. You will absolutely be able to print if you do this for like the whole day, but just be cognizant of making sure that you buy the tablets at an appropriate price. That's all there is for the video, boys. I hope you guys try the strategy out. It's a tried and true strategy. It worked last league. It's still going to work this league, but it's highly dependent on the price of the Omen. So double check before you do the strategy. Make sure the Omen prices are still quite expensive. If not, don't do it. But if they are, go ahead and send it. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you guys try it, and I hope you guys have some luck. If you like this video, please like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I hope to see you guys again in the next one.